Wow, the highly anticipated Scream 5 is finally here and we are back in Woodsboro. Hello everybody, welcome back to my channel Lifestyle Critic. I hope you're having a brilliant day. So in this video we get to review Scream 5, the brand new rebooted Scream movie, which is set 25 years after the events of the first movie, all of the horrors that happened in Woodsboro, and this time we are back in Woodsboro for a brand new nightmare to begin. Now this movie serves as a bit of a requel. It even speaks about this in the film itself, as it does somewhat reboot it whilst also being a bit of a sequel and continuing storylines from the past and bringing back legacy characters and bringing in a new batch of characters and also passing the torch onto these brand new characters. Now this movie does such a good job in terms of really respecting and honouring Wes Craven, who was the awesome director across all of the Scream movies and the TV shows as well. And there are some truly awesome throwbacks in this movie and loads of twists and turns, as you would hope and expect from a Scream movie, and I cannot wait to break it down for you in this movie review. So we open up Scream 5 with an awesome opening sequence, as we've obviously become accustomed to this across all of the Scream movies, and this time we have Jenna Ortega's character being the first victim, and this sequence is just bloody brilliant. Like I said, it harks back to all of the past opening sequences but blends it with modern technology, and it's just so gripping, so gruesome, and literally is edge of your seat viewing and starts off the film in a really great way. We then meet loads of new characters who have some dark secrets and relationships with the past, and a brand new Ghostface killing spree is just about to start, and then we get to see who is going to survive this time around. Now from a positive point of view, like I said, it really does honour and respect the past, and I really like this actually. It doesn't try to rewrite anything, it doesn't try to act as if certain things didn't take place, it just honours all of it and brings it into this movie in such a brilliant love letter style. So you can really see all of the respect for the first four movies in particular taking place in this film, and of course there's loads of horror references and loads of meta self-referential pop culture and social commentary taking place in this movie, which is absolutely wicked. Some of the Ghostface kills are absolutely brutal, and Ghostface is just so savage this time around and literally holds no punches back. And the killer twist reveal at the final moment in this movie, of course, like all of them, is absolutely wicked too. I feel like it passes the torch from the legacy characters to the new characters really well, and like I keep saying, all of the respect to Wes Craven is done so brilliantly. I know in all of the marketing materials and in all of the interviews for the press for this film, they were saying, you know, this really does feel like a Wes Craven movie, and there is a lot of respect paid in the movie, and you can definitely see all of that, which is really cool. And of course it's really meta as well in terms of making fun of requels, which like I said is a bit of a hybrid between a reboot and a sequel, and it does this in a really different way to how Scream 4 did a bit of a remake, as it does continue certain things whilst rebooting certain aspects as well. So I feel like they do all of those stuff really well. However, from a negatives point of view, while some of the death sequences are really gruesome, really drawn out and really gripping and edge of your seat viewing, some of the other ones, literally just blink and you missed it, as they're so basic. It's just Ghostface stabbing a person a couple of times and then it's kind of over. I mean, the Scream TV series was so innovative with pretty much every single kill, and I was expecting a little bit more from the number of deaths that Ghostface was going to commit in this movie. But you know, that being said, this was filmed during COVID times, and I think they did do the best that they could do with all of the COVID parameters. I feel like they could have done a little bit more with the legacy characters as well. They're used in a very similar way to how Force Awakens uses the core trio. So I feel like they could have given Neve Campbell and Courteney Cox in particular a little bit more to do. But that being said, David Arquette is very well used in this movie, and also I feel like it definitely does lean a lot more into the seriousness and a lot more into the horror aspects rather than the comedic light-hearted aspects, which are still there, but I feel like tonally it does shift a lot when compared to the other four Scream movies. However, that being said, Scream 5 is also trying to redo and relaunch and revitalize this franchise, and from that point of view I do feel like from a story perspective this is really successful. So the cast and characters in this movie are really great. I would kind of put them in three different categories. The first one being the brand new main characters, who are absolutely wicked. They are literally flawless. I feel like the film focuses on them really well, and you find out a lot more about them, and you really do care about these core main characters. We then have the legacy characters, which of course are absolutely awesome. I mean, they're so popular and so iconic. across all of the Scream movies. Like I said, I wish they could have done a little bit more with them, but you know, the fact that they are even in this movie is just an absolute joy in and of itself. And then we have the third category, which is basically the friends slash suspect slash target. And they aren't that well developed. I mean, they are decent characters, and I feel like if they had explored them a little bit more, they could have been a bit decent. But you know, this film has got a relatively short runtime and loads of new characters to introduce. So I feel like they balance them really, really well. But it is worth being mindful that the third category of characters just aren't as well fleshed out, no pun intended, as the rest of the characters. So let's go through them one by one. So first up we have Melissa Barrera, who does an excellent job as the brand new Sam Carpenter character, who is the new main character and is basically this new rebooted, relaunched version of Sidney Prescott. Like I said, she's the main character and she has a bit of a dark secret that you find out a lot more about as the film progresses. And I guess is also the main target by Ghostface. We then have Jenna Ortega, who is playing her sister, the Tara Carpenter character. And like I said, she is the opening kill in this movie and is just so awesome. I feel like Jenna Ortega has such a brilliant resume already from her film and TV show career and is just bringing so much to this movie and just opens it up so fantastically. We then have Jack Quaid, who is playing a character called Richie. He is the boyfriend to Melissa Barrera's Sam Carpenter character and learns a lot more about all of the Stab movies, and in turn is able to bring the audience back up to speed in terms of what's been happening with the Stab franchise within the Scream universe over the last couple of years. We then have Marley Shelton, who is reprising her role from Scream 4 as the Judy Hicks character, who is now the sheriff of Woodsboro, and we have her son played by Dylan Minnette, who plays a character called Wes, which is another really, really nice reference to the late Wes Craven. And I feel like this character is really, really cool, and they also remember from Scream 4 the fact that the Judy Hicks character used to love lemon squares and used to make this for the Dewey character, and I absolutely love this reference in this movie. We also have some twins in this film as well. One is a bit of a nice jock and the other one is a bit of a movie expert, so it's definitely bringing the Randy vibes into this movie. We then have David Arquette, who is absolutely awesome as the Dewey character. Like I said, definitely has the most to do out of all of the legacy characters and just integrates with this new batch of characters so well, and it's just so wicked to kind of see what's been happening with the Dewey character since we last saw him at the end of Scream 4. Similarly, it's so awesome to see Neve Campbell and Courteney Cox's Sidney Prescott and Gale Weathers back in this movie and to see what they've been up to since the end of Scream 4 as well. Like I said, they used a little bit less than the Dewey character, but that being said, it's still absolutely incredible seeing these actresses back reprising these super iconic roles. Like I said, they're a bit more advisory in this film and a little bit in the background, but still they're able to bring a lot of advice to the characters and bring so much hope and heart and vulnerability, especially being back in the Woodsboro area. Speaking of Woodsboro, of course, we've also got Ghostface being voiced awesomely by Roger L. Jackson once again. This time, I would say the voice of Ghostface feels a little bit more serious rather than the very iconic style that he used in the original movie series. This time it feels a little bit more like his own character. Then of course we have all of the other new batch of friends who, like I said, of course they're kind of there to be friends, to be targets, to be suspects, but they're just not as well developed as the main group of characters. But that being said, from a cast and characters point of view overall, they're pretty awesome in Scream 5. So from a visuals point of view, it's really, really great to kind of be back in Woodsboro and to kind of have the Scream aesthetic back with all of its horror references, all of its horror comedic blends, all of its meta social commentary taking place as well. And I really do think they've recaptured all of the brilliance across the first 4 movies back in this 5th movie, which is really, really cool. Like I said earlier, it does feel a little bit more serious tonally and aesthetically as well. But that being said, it does work really, really well. In terms of sequences, I would say the opening sequence is absolutely wicked. Of course, the finale sequence is absolutely awesome too. There's another really, really gripping sequence in the hospital and a house chase sequence as well. But other than that, I would say it's a little bit basic. I was expecting and hoping a little bit more from the Ghostface character. But that being said, I think the fact that they were even able to make this movie during COVID times, I think is absolutely extraordinary. And whilst they definitely could have pushed the visuals a little bit more, I think what they've achieved with it is pretty awesome. So from a comparison point of view, I don't think Scream 5 is as good as the awesome, iconic original trilogy. I would probably put it on the same level as Scream 4, but I do think it's a lot better than the other movies within this category. For example, I Know What We Did Last Summer, The Faculty, Fear Street, Black Christmas, and it definitely does have a very Force Awakens, Spider-Man No Way Home, and Matrix Resurrections vibe in terms of bringing back legacy characters. But in terms of restarting, relaunching, and rebooting this franchise, I do feel like it is actually pretty successful. So overall, as a Scream superfan, as I'm sure you can tell, I really enjoyed this movie. I was really looking forward to watching it. I had very high expectations for it. I think it fell short ever so slightly from those high expectations. But that being said, it still is a really enjoyable movie. I absolutely loved all of the suspense in this film. All of the twists and turns were absolutely awesome. Just bringing back all of the legacy characters. The fact that they all even signed up for this movie is just absolutely awesome, and it really does honor, cherish, and treasure everything that went on with the past, whilst also taking it in a very new direction really well. And so for all of those reasons, I'm going to give Scream 5 a solid 7 out of 10. Now I'd love to hear what you thought of the movie, so please let me know in the comment section below. Otherwise, I look forward to seeing you in my next video.